This is everything you need to know about vintage lenses. So I made a list on my iPad of things that you need to know about vintage lenses. The first one is what makes a lens a vintage lens. It's non-electronic. There's no electronics on this lens whatsoever. Pretty much it's just all these little dials. You manually have to control the aperture. So you have an aperture ring, and then manual focus. There's no autofocus, so you manually have to focus it. Manually have to do the aperture, and you have to have special converters to control all the little switches. Why get a vintage lens? I recently just started doing, looking at them and getting them and trying them out and seeing what I like, and this one has actually saved my butt in a situation where it was really low lighting. I didn't have any of my other lenses, and I just had my f 4.0, so I busted this one out. It's 50mm prime, and it did great. It did exactly what I needed to do. The reason you might want to get vintage lenses would be to save money. This one only cost me $20, and this is let alone my favorite lens that I own personally at all. I just love the look that comes out. It's the sharpest lens I own, and it's just amazing quality. When buying vintage lenses, things you need to check for is first, obviously, scratches on the lens. This one does not have any scratches, so that passes so far. You can go ahead and look through the lens, see if there's any dirt. If you can't really see it that well, take a flashlight through the back and look through the front, and that'll magnify all the dirt that's inside. And that'll also check for any fungus or stuff growing on the inside of the lens. When buying off of eBay, make sure to read the description. I know there's some out there that I was ready for them, I was about to buy them, and such a great deal for what the lens is. When looking at vintage lenses, I mainly buy them off of eBay. I bought my Solagore in a pawn shop, a good price, but the other two lenses I bought off of eBay. The person had good reviews. They have really close-up pictures, so I can sort of check the lens, obviously not to my specs, but then I also read the description. Make sure to read the description. Most of them that are put up there are for parts, because other ones are dying and they have fungus on them or whatever. So make sure to read the description. Also, when buying a lens, make sure you know the mounting. So this is a Canon FD. So the mount is an FD. So when I need to buy the converter, I know I need to buy the FD to micro 4/3 converter. So just make sure you know what the mounting is so that when you get it, you know what converter to buy. Also, when buying converters, as you can tell, I do not buy the ones with the extra piece of glass for infinity focus. This one has great infinity focus. My whole thing is, one, they're more money. Two, that's another piece of glass to mess up the quality. So you're expecting to pay $20 more for one with glass in it, but what's the quality of the glass that they're putting in there? So really, if you really want to buy one with glass, you need to spend $20 over that one. So it just comes out, I just buy the cheapest ones that I can find, and they work perfect. My favorite vintage lens or brand or whatever mount that I would recommend is Canon FD lenses. One, I just buy FD lenses and I just keep the same mount. I can switch them out. Some people like to have converters or whatever for all of their lenses, so they don't have to switch them out, which is understandable. Saves me money down the road when I want to keep acquiring lenses. The main reason why I suggest Canon FD lenses is they give me the best quality, the best sharpness, and the bokeh is amazing. And I have no issues with this lens. There's some other ones that when you're pushing them wide open, they just don't do the quality that you think they should, because obviously wide open for some might not be the best quality, pushing lights through them and whatnot. And this one does great at 1.8, so they're amazing quality lenses. To kind of help you and make it worth it would be a low f-stop, and just look for primes basically. Once you get into zooms, they're a little bit more technical. Just more moving parts, less or more can go wrong. This one has like a slow little tilt to it. When it tilts, sometimes it'll fall forward and zoom in or zoom out, kind of like that. So if you're doing a lot of tripod work, I wouldn't recommend getting a zoom and whatnot. But the primes are where it's at. Not as many people want a 50 millimeter, so I recommend this as a first test lens because it is only $20. This is a $30 combo, I guess you could say. Converter was $10 and the lens was $20. I also recommend vintage lenses because I think it kind of stepped up my game in knowing my camera, knowing, you know, what f-stop really does, and it just makes you really control everything that you need to get the best quality. So on a lens that goes down to 1.8, most people, you know, they just let their camera do their aperture and whatnot, and so playing around with that and learning it, bringing your aperture down to 1.8 makes your focus point very small and really blurs out the back. 2.8 is you can kind of get a little bit more of the subject in a sharp, and then also pushing out the back. And the more you go up, the depth of field is just going to be the same. That was my quick review. Again, sorry for the quality. I don't have a lot of time. I'm expecting a baby any minute. So yeah, that is my review of vintage lenses and everything you need to know about them. Highly recommend them. Definitely look up the Canon FD 50mm 1.8. They normally go for around $20 to $30, normally in the $20 range. Get some awesome shots with it. It's such a fun lens, and who needs to zoom when you have me? Thanks guys for watching. This is Aiden from US UAV Media. Go ahead and comment, like, and subscribe, and let me know what other videos you would like to